Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. If you follow us at all, you'll know that around the archive we really love a good mystery. Whether it's a murder mystery, an unsolved mystery, mystery food, or, like today, a mystery discovery that science can't even explain. We love a good scientific discovery, especially when it involves space. But today we'll be looking at strange sounds from the earth and ocean. Simple things like ice, spiders' tendency to build fences, and more, as we highlight 10 crazy discoveries that science can't explain. But before we get started, why not become an archivist today by clicking that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. If you end up enjoying this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up, and in the comments section, tell us of another question that science can't answer.
Number 10. The Taos Hum. Taos, New Mexico, a small city, has been confusing people for ages with one sound, a hum. It's a low-frequency hum perceptible to only about 2% of its residents. While most don't hear it at all, some believe the sound could be strange acoustics. If not, could it be that all of those people are going insane at once? Maybe, some say, it's a strange supernatural noise. If we're being honest, not everyone who hears the Taos Hum reports hearing the same type of sound, which could either indicate that it's very subjective or maybe not real at all. That's a lot of people on board for one lie, though. What do you think? Number 9. Ice is slippery. Before you come to me with some sarcastic, snarky Sherlock reference, you'd be surprised how much mystery surrounds the slipperiness of ice. We have no idea how the liquid layer above ice forms. Since 1850, when Michael Faraday spoke of the fusing of two ice cubes together, that happened thanks to a thin layer of water that quickly refroze. This film was thought to have come from the pressure added between the two cubes. However, even a large person on one skate doesn't generate enough pressure for melting to happen. Some say it's the heat generated from the blade that causes the melting. Others say ice is slippery even when you're just standing on it with no friction. However, the truth is that we just don't know. Number 8. The Voynich Manuscript. This manuscript is still unexplained and came to surface after the antiquarian Wilfred Voynich stumbled upon it in 1912. Upon closer inspection, it seems like the manuscript was owned by some sort of black market tradesperson keeping track of all the transactions. Experts said the book was from the 15th century, and its language and illustrations are still a mystery, despite theories that it was written in Italy during the Renaissance. Despite professionals' attempt to crack the code, we still have no idea what the book says. Some people suggest it could even be related to some sort of secret society. What do you think it could be? Number 7. The weakening of the magnetic field. If something is happening to our planet, we'd like to think that it's all over the place. However, there's evidence that our magnetic field is weakening in only some spots. That's like if global warming was only happening to just France. Well, the magnetic field is getting real weak around Africa, and it's not recent. It's been happening for about 1,000 years, actually. It's also not the first time that this weakening has occurred. During several centuries, the same place has shown a weaker magnetic field overall. So, what makes Africa so different that this could be happening here? We can only guess. Number 6. The Baghdad Battery. Discovered in 1930, these 3 artifacts found together in Iraq have been puzzling scientists ever since. We're not sure why it was made or for what purpose. Some people believe it was a battery, but it was only capable of producing 1 volt. And also, the jar was sealed with asphalt, making it enormously difficult to refill the liquid electrolyte. And the presumed battery also has no terminals. There were other theories going around, some as simple as one that said the vessels were used only to hold sacred scriptures. But to this day, its exact purpose is still unknown. Number 5. A boiling river. Natural hot springs aren't something we raise our eyebrows at. Generally, you tap into some hot water near some volcanoes and make it a tourist attraction. This river in Peru, though, can only be found after a deep trek through the forest. Once you get there, the water is actually above boiling point, but there isn't a volcano around for hundreds of miles. It's no small stream either. At 80 feet wide and 16 feet deep, that's a whole lot of water to keep hot at an average of 186 degrees for 4 miles. It's so hot, in fact, that animals are often found cooked to death near the water. No one really knows why the river is so hot. Locals theorized that the sun did it, but all signs point to the source being a series of streams coming from a fault line. Number 4. Silk fences. Ah, the American dream. A dog, a house, a white picket fence. It's what the 1950s and 60s told us we ought to want. And you know who really listened? This spider. That's right, this little one knows how to build a fence like few others. It's cute, it's perfectly white. It surrounds only one baby at a time. In the middle of the circle, you'll see a monolith which becomes a baby spider. The reason for the fence could be to trap the little one's first meal or to protect it from predators, but it's still a big question mark for researchers. Number 3. The Great Attractor. Ah, another of my high school nicknames. This is the name given to a space showing a gravitational anomaly in our galaxy. However, we can't explore it because the energy created by the Milky Way creates a zone of avoidance right near it. The gravitational pull is so strong, though, that even we're getting sucked in, as are all the supergalactic clusters in the neighborhood. Some theories of space have been debunked by the mere existence of the Great Attractor, like the thought that other galaxies were moving away from us, as it seems it could just be an effect of the Great Attractor's pull. It might be a massive black hole, but we don't know. The zone of avoidance is keeping us totally in the dark. Number 2. The Bloop. This is one of my absolute favorites. When I'm not thinking about what's in space that's frightening, I like to ponder what massive sea creatures are in our oceans that we just haven't found yet. Something that could have an eyelid as big as my entire body. So the bloop is something that has me on the edge of my seat. The bloop is the loudest underwater sound we've heard to this day. For it to have been made by a sea creature, this creature would have to be the size of an island. It's happened twice during history, and it's so loud that it simply cannot be ignored, and that the source just has to be large and terrifying. Some believe it's an ice quake, but others say it's still too loud to be just ice breaking. The sound is really more of a moan than a bloop, but scary nonetheless. It's coming for us. Number 1. Cocaine Mummy Mystery. What do you get when researchers of ancient Egypt and botanists differ in opinion? No, there's no punchline, just a real-life dispute over whether or not mummies were using cocaine. That's right, even though botanists assure that cocaine and tobacco were not found until the voyages to America long after Egyptian mummies were a thing of the past, Egyptologists have surprised many with their research showing the contrary. In 1992, standard tests that were performed on a mummy showed high levels of both cocaine and nicotine. The tests were redone many times, as the researcher herself couldn't believe it, but over and over, there it was. Thanks for watching. Lots of unexplained mysteries out there, right? What are some others you know about? Or perhaps you have an explanation for one or more of these? Well, speak up in the comments section. Now, not a mystery, you can become an archivist today. Subscribe to the channel right now, click the notifications bell, and give this video a like.